The voice didn't shout. It didn't beg. It didn't explain. It said one thing, clear, calm, and urgent. Get up. Leave. Now. Elena Brooks had no reason to listen. But 5 minutes after she did, the house she had just walked out of no longer existed. Elena Brooks went to bed the way she always did, phone charging on the nightstand, dog curled at her feet, the faint hum of the refrigerator drifting down the hallway. It had been an ordinary Tuesday, work emails, a late dinner, the kind of day that leaves no mark. She wasn't anxious. She wasn't afraid. She wasn't praying. Sleep came quickly. And then, Elena, her eyes opened inside the dream. There was no face, no image, no light, just awareness. Get up. The voice wasn't loud. It wasn't male or female. It didn't sound angry or kind. It sounded certain. Elena felt herself sit up in bed, inside the dream, heart suddenly racing for no reason she could name. Leave the house, now. She woke up gasping. The room was dark, silent, normal. Max lifted his head, tail thumping once against the mattress. Elena pressed a hand to her chest and laughed under her breath. Stress dreams, she muttered. She checked the time, 2:07 a.m. Nothing smelled strange, no noises, no alarms. She lay back down. Within seconds, she was asleep again. The second dream came faster. This time, there was no preamble. Elena. Her name wasn't spoken. It was placed into her. Get up. Her heart slammed so hard she felt it in her throat. You need to leave. The calm was gone now. Not panic, but pressure. Like standing beneath something enormous that was about to move. She woke up, choking on air. Max was already standing. Dogs know things before we do. Elena swung her legs over the side of the bed. The floor was cold. She stayed seated, listening. Nothing. Her rational mind took control immediately. This is ridiculous. You're overtired. You've been reading too many stories before bed. She stood anyway, walked into the kitchen. The clock on the microwave read 2:14 a.m. Still no smell. No sound, no reason. She leaned against the counter and laughed again, louder this time. I'm losing it, she said to the empty room. Then, that same certainty pressed into her chest. Not words, direction. Now. She grabbed her keys. Max whined. I know, she whispered. We're going outside, just for a minute. She opened the front door. Cool air rushed in, and for the first time, just barely, she smelled something metallic. Sharp. Wrong. She froze. Behind her, the house made a sound she had never heard before. A deep, hollow click. Like pressure shifting inside a wall. Elena didn't close the door. She ran. They made it halfway down the driveway when Elena stopped. Max was pulling back toward the house. No, she said, tugging the leash. He resisted. Then she realized. She had forgotten her phone. It was still on the nightstand. For half a second she hesitated. Then she turned around. The smell was stronger now. The house felt wrong, like it was holding its breath. She ran inside, grabbed the phone, and something deep in the walls roared. The explosion didn't sound like movies. There was no fireball, just light, force, a violent, world-breaking thud that threw Elena backward. She hit the ground hard. Windows shattered outward. The front of the house collapsed inward. And then, silence. Elena lay there stunned, ears ringing, lungs burning. Max was barking. She rolled onto her side and stared at what used to be her living room. Flames licked up from the rubble. Sirens arrived quickly. Neighbors poured into the street in pajamas and robes. Someone wrapped a blanket around her shoulders. A firefighter crouched in front of her. "You're lucky," he said quietly. Elena shook her head. "I was warned," she whispered. He blinked. "What?" She didn't answer. The fire marshal explained it later. A slow gas leak in the crawl space. Undetectable at first, one spark away from catastrophe. "If you'd been asleep," he said, "you wouldn't have made it." Elena nodded numbly. Mr. Halverson from next door shuffled over, hands shaking. "I smelled gas earlier," he said, "hours ago. I thought it was nothing." He looked at the wreckage. "I ignored it." Elena stared at the ruins of her home. The voice had not. That night, sitting in the back of an ambulance, she tried to replay it. The tone, the certainty, the way it never explained, only insisted. She didn't hear it again, not the next night, not ever. But something changed. She listens differently now, to pauses, to instincts, to the quiet moments where something inside her says, "Pay attention." Some warnings don't come wrapped in fear. Some arrive as clarity, and some only come once. Not every voice announces itself as divine. Not every miracle demands belief. Sometimes it's simply a moment where logic steps aside and listening saves a life. If this story stirred something in you, if you've ever felt guided, warned, or protected in a way you can't explain, share it, like it, follow Lanes and Lanterns. And if you've experienced something like this, tell us in the comments. You might not be the only one.